What's going on, folks? Welcome into Believe in Commanders. Anthony Armstrong here, the original 1-3. Got a special guest, NFL legend, Mr. Lights Out himself, Shawne Merriman. Appreciate you taking the time for joining me over here. We could use your pass rushing skills this week against Philly. So if you got a couple plays left in you, would you mind suiting up for the burgundy and gold?
Look, the pass rush is not the problem. I can play the run, but I don't think I can come off the edge like I used to. But
okay.
Yes, yeah, I think they'll be fine in the passing game. They need to stop that Saquon Barkley back there. Once they do that, I think they'll be in good shape.
Yeah, that is true. Saquon Barkley, absolute animal. I mean, the guy, I can't believe he got out of New York and they let him sign within the division. I was actually more upset with that signing because I was like, how you let that happen? He's supposed to go to the AFC, not here into this division. Outside of Saquon Barkley, let me ask you this. If you were you're on the defensive side, what would you do? What's your message to get the focus to stop Saquon Barkley?
For one, I got to make them one-dimensional, right? I know that A.J. Brown and those guys are great wide receiver. Smith, they got some great guys at wide receiver, but you can live with them making plays here and there. You can't live with Saquon Barkley just hitting you for these home run runs and 10, 15 yards a pop or 30-yard runs, and he has the capability to hit a home run every time he touches the ball. You can't let that happen. You can live with A.J. Brown having a good game. You can live with Smith and one of these other guys having a good game catching the football, but it's so demoralizing as a defensive player when you can't stop the run. I mean, you got to make them throw the football, see also with Jalen Hurts, see what his health looked like, because I think he's coming to this game a little banged up. Try to get him off the spot, see him running around and see if he can handle that. But coming into this game, they got to focus on Saquon because everything else opens up if you don't.
Absolutely. Saquon Barkley had an amazing first half. The last time these two teams squared off, Jalen Hurts goes out, and then comes Kenny Pickett. Next thing you know, Washington gets that big W. Flipping over, speaking about Jayden Daniels, the electrifying rookie, going to be the rookie of the year, and Bet Online, I remember way back in the start of this season, we went over the spreads over there at Bet Online, saying, hey, could he get over 4 touchdowns rushing? We were like, yeah, he could do that. Yards, yes. Offensive rookie of the year, that's in line right now. What would be your game plan to try to slow him down with what he does just as a player?
You know what? Typically, when you're looking at rookies, you try to frustrate them, make them do things that's uncharacteristic. To the point where they want to go out and try to win the games by themselves. You try to do that, but Jayden Daniels different. You're talking about a different beast when you're talking about rookies and his capabilities. This guy never seems to get rattled. He just doesn't. And look at every big moment he's been in this season. There's not one time he's gone out there that he looks nervous or he looks like he didn't know what's going on or where he's at. And you get that a lot out of rookies. We used to call that make the rookie see ghosts, right? We used to joke around and say we got to make them see ghosts. You can't get him to that point. He's plays like a seasoned vet. One thing I would try to do though is just hit him, right? I mean, I think that anybody get hit enough, they're going to start to panic, and I think he's going to get a lot of pressure from that Eagle interior D lineman. So I would expect him to make more of his throws and passes on the run when he gets outside the pocket. I don't believe that he's going to have a whole lot of time to step up in the pocket because of Eagles interior D line. So. If I was the Commanders, I would start designing plays to make sure that he gets on the edges, throws on the run, get outside of that pocket because he's going to get a lot of pressure up interior where he's not going to be able to step up and deliver a deep ball or something down the middle.
Yeah, definitely something to think about with Sam Cosmi tearing his ACL. Now you have Trent Scott filling in. He did well last week, but now Jalen Carter and crew, that's a different bunch, right? You got to see how he steps up against this Eagles crew right here. Bet Online has this as a 6-point spread, and they've been a sponsor of the show all year long. And last week they got all the way up to 9.5 points. And I know they're sponsors and I love it. I know you hear representing Bet Online, but man, 6 points. I mean, with what Washington's done all year, I feel like I'd have to go with the Washington side. Obviously, this is a Commanders pod, but looking at some of the other games, what are some of your other favorite picks this week? Obviously, there ain't but one on the other side, KC and the Bills.
First of all, the Commanders, I don't think anybody can doubt them at this point. Because no one going into that game, unless you're a hardcore Commanders fan, thought that they were going to beat the Lions. No one did, and they did. They did the unthinkable, and they stayed true to themselves and go for it on fourth down. All the things that got them there, playing loose, playing free. Dan Quinn got those guys, very motivated and feeling confident about their capabilities, which is why they go for it on fourth down and do some of the things that they've been doing. Stay that way. Don't change anything this late in the season. On the other side, I said it before the season, I thought this was the Bills' opportunity to get over the hump. And for one, it's their time. It's their season enough. Josh Allen's been in enough cases where the moment's not too big. No one's going to panic or do anything uncharacteristic. Also, the Bills and Josh Allen have beat you in so many different ways on the offense side of the ball. It's not just a Stephon Diggs you got to worry about, not just a running attack. He's spreading the ball everywhere. I mean, that touchdown he had to Ty Johnson in the back of the end zone, that wasn't a scripted call play. This is let me find somebody who's open. It's very hard to game plan against anyone that's just making plays like that. And so that's why I said that you watch film and say, okay, who do we take out of the equation in order for us to win a football game?
Yeah.
There's not one person that you can say that, hey, we stopped this guy or we should win. The other side, when you're talking about, KC and what they're capable of doing, that we know that everything starts and finishes with Patrick Mahomes.
For sure.
And now, you got to play against that 12th man on the field, as like most people like to call it. But
them zebras, huh? Them zebras.
Yeah, man. It's look. I never, even as a player, I know the fans. It's their job to say the refs this, the refs that. Yeah. It's part of the game. I never felt that way. I always wanted to take the game out of the refs' hands, but I think it's getting to the point where it's so blatant. It's blatant and it's kind of being thrown in people's faces. It's hard to turn the other cheek at this point when you see it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the Bills, man. I got the Bills winning this one.
Yeah, I think they are dangerous. One thing I love about what Josh Allen has been doing is that he's had success with star players, and now he has, lesser known players. I don't want to sit there and I'm not going to dog them because they're in the lead. They're still going to be productive, but now it's all on his shoulders. It is on his shoulders. And I'd be intrigued to see the matchup because going back to 91, that was when the Redskins were in the Super Bowl and they were up against the Bills. So all this 1991 magic could be coming back together. So if Washington and the Bills win, you got to come back so we can have another conversation ahead of the Super Bowl. When you were in Maryland, did you grow up a Redskins fan?
Not really, man. I mean, I watched closely on the team, and Art Monk and those guys were some of my favorite players I used to watch during that time. Darryl Green, I mean,
yeah.
They I think it was Ken Harvey at linebacker too, right? I mean, so I watched them, growing up, but I didn't really have a favorite team.
Okay, all right,
Mark Rippon, right?
Yeah, a lot of legends up there, a lot of legends. Let me ask you this. We were talking about the flags and whatnot. Do you think you could play, obviously physically, but like if the rules were you were playing in this gauge, how it's so easy to hit a quarterback in the head and now it's ejections and penalties left and right. You think you would have, been able to get down in this type of sensitive league?
I could, but I don't think the passion and motivation would be the same, right? Yeah. Because as a defender, you want to get guys on the ground by any means necessary. You're not sitting there in that 1 or 2 seconds thinking like, hey, I got to keep my helmet away from his helmet. I got to not hit him in the knee area. I not pull back. There's just a lot to go into it where you can't play fast and aggressive like you want. You always got to keep it in the back of your head. So, when people out here calling these guys soft nowadays, I can't do that. They're playing by the rules. And if the rules, kind of start leaning towards making a little bit softer than some of the guys I played with in my time, it's the rules. They're playing within those rules that are set for them. So, could I play? Yeah, but I would almost be breaking even every season by playing these fines. That's for sure.
Lord have mercy. I know fines for hitting people are different. I was a receiver. I wasn't getting fines for that. I did get a uniform fine one time. It was for my socks. I was cramping during the game, pushed them down, and then it was a turnover, and I just pulled them up. Next thing I know, I got a $5,000 fine.
Yeah,
that FedEx. That's what everybody said. You got that FedEx? I'm like, yeah, I got the FedEx.
Look, I'm still traumatized by FedEx now. I don't even use FedEx no more. You know what I mean? For that reason. For that reason, if I see a FedEx, man, I got PTSD for the fines and suspensions and everything else.
It was never anything good if you had a little thin FedEx envelope on your seat. Come in Monday morning, you're like, damn, they got me. I got it rescinded though. What I found crazy was Merton Hanks was the uniform guy. I'm like, you used to walk around with the headband on your neck, like you was breaking uniform violations. Now you the police.
Ain't that crazy? They turned 5-0. They were the main ones that broke the dress code, man. So NFL got a lot of money, man. Make you change your mind.
Don't close the door on me, man. Don't close the door on me. Oh man, shoot. Let's go back to the game. Playing in Philly. Obviously, Washington's been on the road. They got the bus packed up. what's the biggest way to just take the home crowd out of it? I mean, you've played in big games. How do you shut down a home crowd?
They got to score early, right? Because my biggest concern if I was the Commanders coming into this game is letting Saquon get that momentum going, because he's hard to stop after that point. They're a momentum team, especially when they're running the football, and it just feeds off of Saquon. Saquon is like, he's an anchor, man, not for that offense. He's an anchor for that team. Look at him on that sideline going up and down and getting the coaches hyped and the other players, and he's an anchor for them.
Yeah.
So, and they go off of him. And so when he starts to go, then that team goes. So they got to take him out of the game early. And then Jayden Daniels, they got to they can't go down there and score a field goal. They got to put the ball in the end zone, jump out of them early, and then start getting them to have to think they got to throw the ball to catch back up, right? Yeah. And not keep running the football. So that would be my game plan early, is get up quickly, stop Saquon, don't let them get momentum, and keep on the gas.
Absolutely. Really similar game plan to Detroit game, I think. Right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Got to be aggressive. Hey, you playing with house money? Just go out there and put it on the line. Have you played in Philly? You played in Philly, right?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, what's your craziest Philly story? Do you have a Philly game story?
Yeah. I just going into the stadium, man. It was between the Black Hole playing the Raiders when they were in Oakland, and it's. The only thing different is all those colors. I mean, it is very similar fan bases. But I'm from Maryland. I'm from DC, so I know the passion, and I've seen them around, and I love the fact that they have a love-hate relationship with the team. Mm-hmm. They're a roller coaster of emotions, and they will say and do anything. They don't care, right? They just if they think something, it is coming out verbally, and that's just how their fans are, man. So you gotta kind of respect that as just loving the game. But man, they are a tough bunch.
Man, I remember going to that, at my first game in Philly, on the dry erase board as we walked out, they said, wear your helmet entering and exiting the field, because fans have been known to throw items. And I thought it was funny and I laughed at it. But as I'm warming up, and next thing I know, I get hit in the side of the head with something. I'm thinking, these suckers are starting early. It really was Santana was throwing the football to get my attention, and he hit me in the head. But I trust me, I wore my helmet the rest of that game. I was not trying to get hit by anything, because Philly's different. Like that's the game you say, hey, baby, don't worry about coming to this game. You don't.
You don't want to bring the family, because the thing is there's really no family section, to be honest. I mean, you can go up there in the family section all you want to. They will find those fans. That is a story that I know, because I had people coming up from DC and Maryland. I had my family to drive up to the Philly game, and they would mess with my family up there the whole entire time. Now my family's from DC, so it didn't turn out so well for them. Yeah. But, at the same time, it was like, I never had them come back out. I never had anybody that was close to me come back out to those games, because those Philly fans are pretty rough.
Yeah, it really can be. Last bit, I'm not going to keep it too much longer. Last question, just who's your X factor? On either side, X factor for Philly, offensive or defensively, and then similar for Washington.
For Philly, I think it's going to be Jalen Carter in this game. You can talk about the matchup on the edges with Scary Terry and Slay. There's going to be a lot of battling going on, but this game is going to be won or lost if they can block Jalen Carter in that interior, because if Jayden Daniels can't step up and deliver a football down the field, he's always going to be running. They're not going to be able to set up for the plays. It takes a little bit of time to develop those crossing patterns, stuff across the field. They don't have time for that now, because Jalen Carter is going to be a havoc inside. So that is for me, and for it's really going to come down to Jayden Daniels, man. Like, can he overcome that when it comes to that game? I'm gonna love to see Slay and Scary Terry go back and forth. I'm gonna love watching that. Yeah. And then on the AFC side, Josh Allen, I know we can talk about that, but what I want to see when that game on the line, because I think the spread in this game is pretty close. You're going to look for guys like a Von Miller to close it out, right? That's what I think is going to happen in this game. If it gets close, it's going to be like it's tight, right? The point spread.
Yeah, it's sitting at 1.5 right now.
Yeah, and I think it was like 2 or 2.5 on point, so it's even tighter. This game is going to come down to like a Von Miller, the old head to come and make a big play at the end of the game, third and long situation, a turnover, or force, Patrick Mahomes to throw a bad pass, because this is going to be a tight one.
Yeah, that secondary is playing really well. I think they've been pretty advantageous. I think Taylor Rapp had a interception last week.
Yep.
Man, you talk about the defense, Steve Spagnuolo. Like he's been cooking with gas. He may be the X factor for Kansas City. Can he slow down Josh Allen enough just to keep, get Patrick a chance to get into it?
Yeah, I mean, look, and Spagnuolo, he'll go down as one of the, I think, top 3 or 4 defensive coordinators, in my opinion, of all time. I played for Wade Phillips, who I think was a great defensive coordinator as well. And I'm surprised at this point Spagnuolo hasn't taken a head coaching job somewhere, but lucky for KC he stayed. But, man, his timing and dialing up blitzes, we haven't seen anything like it in a long time. And it's not just the plays that he calls, it's the timing of it, right, in situations – well, he's not letting you step back. If it's third and short, he's bringing it. It doesn't matter. And he's creating one-on-one matchups across the board. That's what makes him so great, man. And he's making some of these guys look a whole lot better than what they are because it's play calling. But also, man, Chris Jones, they have to do something with Chris Jones this week because look at the last 2 Super Bowls that KC won. Who closed those games out? It was Chris Jones. So they cannot at any point in time have him on a one-on-one block against anybody.
They find a way to get it. Like you looking like, how did he get one-on-one? Like they'll put him out there on a tackle. I mean, that's something. Big 300+ pound dude, big dancing bear. He's able to rush off the edge and get inside and make some noise and get nasty. I mean, hey, Chris Jones is a guy you can put on anybody's team, and he's gonna up that defense and make them one of the better defenses in the league. Man, I'm gonna let you get out of here. I know you got a heart out, but I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us over here on Believe in Commanders. Let the folks know where they can follow you and catch all your content.
Yeah, follow me at Shawne Merriman on the social platforms. Also, my streaming network, Lights Out Sports TV. We got the East-West Shrine Bowl practices this weekend. It'll be live on Lights Out Sports TV. You can download it on any major smart TV, iOS, Android. But, yeah, it's 100th year anniversary of the East-West Shrine Bowl, and we got to practice exclusively for Lights Out Sports TV, man. So this is going to be crazy, obviously. Because we play ball, I know exactly what people are going to be looking for, and they want to see those one-on-one battles and interactions and interviews and an all-exclusive inside look at what these East-West Shrine Bowl practices look like. But make sure you guys download Lights Out Sports TV. Lights Out Sports TV. Y'all check that out because I'm writing it down so I can go and download it as well. You got to know who's going to be up next. So really, right now, this is the times where Washington is always thinking about the draft and the offseason, but there's a big football game on Sunday, 6-point spread against the Eagles, and the link is going down. I'm Anthony Armstrong for Shawne Merriman on that side. Mr. Lights Out himself. Y'all take it easy. Be good. Appreciate it.